There we go. Welcome to Creative Mornings. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Tina Roth-Eisenberg. I'm the founder and New York City host of Creative Mornings. And it's so good to see all of your smiling faces, both on Zoom and YouTube Live. This is our 5th Digital Creative Mornings in New York. It took a global pandemic to force Creative Mornings, the world's largest face-to-face community, to start gathering digitally. And it's been quite a learning curve, to say the least, for me personally, to embrace the digital format. I admit I was reluctant, to say the least, but you know what? I've started to get excited for them. Yes, I really am. While I miss the warmth and the bustle of the real life events, I have come to appreciate what we have gained with gathering digitally. Our events have become accessible for everyone. Our homes have become our venues, and we all get to see a glimpse into everyone's world. And I appreciate seeing your faces up close when you ask a question. And most of all, I appreciate that we can welcome folks from all over the world, from cities really, really far away. Fridays are a tour around the world for me at this point. And in case you didn't realize, you can go and attend events in other cities at all times. The regulars amongst you know we are really intentional in how we design our events. And we always kick them off with a community member reading our manifesto. We believe it sets the tone and shines a light on our values. And today, that wonderful human is Shira Benchmoel. She hosted a lovely Creative Mornings cooking field trip last weekend where she taught us how to make tahini cookies and malabi and shared the cultural significance of these dishes she was making. And highlighted that you don't need to have fancy equipment to make the food you love. It was an absolute delight. In case you're not familiar with Creative Mornings field trips, they are a digital workshop series that allows you to connect with this wonderful community outside of our monthly events. It's fueled by generous humans like Shira, teaching something they're passionate about for free. And if you haven't attended a field trip yet, I suggest you do. They are most definitely going to fill you up with good juju and restore your faith in humanity. Christina, our data wizard at Creative Mornings, whispered in my ears that Shira signed up to 77 of our virtual events in the last 6 months. Holy giant Swiss cow, as I would say. Shira is a Jerusalem-based baker, gastronome, travel lover, and photographer. Welcome, Shira. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Tina. Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make the things you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections, in learning from others, in jazz hands, virtual claps, and virtual snaps. We bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome.
Thank you so much, Shira. That was lovely. All right, how many of you have attended the Creative Mornings when they were happening in real life? Put the city or the cities in the chat of events that you have attended, the cities, the chapters. I would love to see that. Singapore, Toronto, Dallas, London, Denver, Atlanta, St. Louis. This makes me so happy. My favorite part of the physical events is actually standing in line for coffee, as you get to make new friends so easily. I remember years ago when I attended an event in Atlanta, and as I was just a guest and not an organizer, I stood in the coffee line so happy just to be and watch everyone. It was glorious. And there were 2 lovely humans chatting right in front of me. And at one point, the woman turns around and starts including me in the conversation as she saw I was standing by myself. That's how the Creative Mornings community rolls. Always kind, always inclusive. We chatted a bit, and then she asked if I've been to many Creative Mornings events. It was a pretty funny moment. But it's not just a coffee line. You never know who you sit next to in an auditorium. Remember auditoriums? Anyway, obviously we can't replicate the standing in line or sitting next to someone you don't know in our digital events, But we can make you feel that you're part of this community by asking you to turn on your cameras. So no reason to be shy. We want to see you. We want to see your surroundings. Show us your pets, children, roommates. Everyone is welcome. This is a kind and generous space, so no need to be nervous. And now I'm going to hand things over to Christina and Kyle. They are two big-hearted Canadians and our hosts for the community portion of our event. Kyle, Christina.
Thank you, Tina. Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome. My name is Kyle Baptista.
And I'm Christina Hug, and we're both members of the Creative Mornings HQ team, and we are so happy to welcome you to Creative Mornings New York. For all of you who are joining on YouTube, hi, hello, we see you, and we're so glad you're here. Our colleague Monica is in the chat to help with any questions you might have.
As Tina mentioned, this is the community engagement portion of our event. A quick note as we get started, unfortunately, we do not have sign interpretation services available today. We apologize to those of you affected by this. We're always on the lookout for volunteer sign interpreters who'd be willing to support Creative Mornings NYC. If you know someone, please get in touch through the email in the chat. For those of you who have just joined us or who have joined us at in-person events, you know that there's so much more to a Creative Mornings experience than just the talk itself. Normally, you'd be entering a beautifully decorated space and handed a hot coffee and a fresh croissant. We're sorry we're not able to do that for you today. We'll do our best to help you feel connected and engaged in this virtual space.
That's right. And now is a great time to tell you that this is not your typical webinar. And like Tina said, we encourage you, if you're in Zoom, to turn on your video, to flip on over into gallery view. It's in the top right of your screen or on the left on tablets, and see the other humans who are here with you today and maybe give them a wave. And I just want to say that you all look great today.
Not only is today's event not a webinar, we're also going to want to hear from you. Later in the program, you'll have the opportunity to unmute and ask a question of Yocasta. To do that, we're going to ask you to raise your hand. Now, I know it's tempting to do this, but with hundreds of participants, we won't be able to see you. If you're on Zoom, click the participants icon at the bottom of your screen. Then in the participant window that pops up, click the little blue hands up button. We've added instructions in the chat, so go ahead and take a second to test it out. Great job, Olivia and Catherine. Christine's figured it out. Wonderful. You know, this actually looks like we're all giving each other little virtual high fives, which is great. You all nailed it. You can lower your hands, but keep that skill in mind for later on.
For those of you on YouTube, we want to hear from you too. If you have questions for our speaker, Yocasta, please share them in the chat. Our team will be collecting them and making sure that Tina sees them during the Q&A section. You might need to be logged into YouTube to post in the chat, just a heads up. Before we move into some of our fun activities that we have planned for today, we wanted to share one more tip for the folks that are in Zoom. We know that if you're in Zoom today, that you've opted in to a more interactive experience of today's event. And that might mean that you're interested in connecting with some of the people who are here with you today. To make that a little easier, we're inviting you to rename your username to have your first name and your preferred social media handle. That way, if you post in the chat or if you're in a breakout room, it's really easy for others to connect with you and follow up.
Great idea, Christina. We're posting instructions in the chat, but to edit your name, you can click on the three dots over your own thumbnail or go back to that participants window and click more, then click rename. Make sure you keep your first name in there as well. Okay, I think we're ready. This month's global theme is stress, so we thought it might be fun to do a bit of a pulse check using a chat waterfall. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share some instructions and we're going to share something all together at the same time. In the chat, we've just posted a scale, or we're about to, of your stress levels indicated by colored heart emojis. If you're on desktop, we want you to copy the heart that resonates with you. All right, there's our heart scale. So go ahead and copy the heart that resonates with you. If you're on mobile and tablet, use the keyboard emoji. Now put the heart into the chat box. Don't hit send yet. Everybody's sharing. It's okay. The waterfall has started. You can't stop a waterfall. Make sure if you haven't had a chance to grab your heart, go ahead and post it. And for those of you still holding, 3, 2, 1, send. Go ahead and send that heart into the chat.
Whoa, this is an amazing rainbow. I'm seeing blues and greens,
Amazing.
oranges, people doubling down, putting multiple hearts. Kyle, what are you seeing in YouTube? What's the vibe over there?
Lots of oranges so far. Mostly orange. We feel you.
We feel you. Okay. People are still sharing. I love seeing all the hearts and seeing all the colors. So thank you everyone for sharing. We know that these are stressful times. We have one more gut check to do with you. We've put together a poll of coping mechanisms, and we'd love to hear from you as to what is your coping mechanism of choice right now. And you should be seeing it pop up now. You can make multiple choices. This is not an exhaustive list. If anyone's adding other, we would love to know what it is. We're going to let folks chime in. If you're on a mobile or tablet, you might not be seeing the poll, but we will share results. 40% have voted, 50% have voted. Gary's chiming in. Another option is smiling and laughing. That's great. Good alternative to games and coloring. Awesome. Got a few that are neck and neck. We're at 80% voted. We're going to give it a couple more seconds and I'll end the poll and share results. I love seeing all the folks saying that they're coming to Creative Mornings events and field trips. They bring me so much joy. All right, going to end the poll, share the results. Looks like physical activity is the #1, followed by mindfulness, cooking, watching Netflix. Great options there. All right.
And if you're on YouTube, we'd love to see your coping mechanism in the chat. All right, so it seems we have the hang of the Zoom room. We're now going to turn our attention to the physical room you're in right now. We've been spending so much time on screens these last few months. It's so easy to get drawn in and forget about the space that surrounds us. We're going to go on a group scavenger hunt. There will be 3 items we're going to ask you to find. When you hear the prompt, you have 30 seconds to grab something that you feel represents or answers that in your space. Once you get back, we'll share the next item.
Okay, so you have 30 seconds on the timer. We want you up out of your chairs, ready to go grab your objects. YouTube, we can't see you, but we encourage you to play along. And a reminder, in Zoom, now is a great time to go into gallery view because seeing people run out of their squares and come back to the grid is super fun. The first item, I'm making sure our timer is ready. The first item we're looking for is something orange. We saw a lot of orange hearts out there. We're going to reframe it as a stress indicator into something wonderful in your space. Starting now, 30 seconds. Some people already had something orange beside them, which is very lucky. Orange bowls and orange. Very good. Very clever. Excellent. 16 more seconds. We now start to see who has small homes that they can pick something up really quickly. It's really lucky. Amazing. I'm loving it. 5 seconds. All right. Kyle, what's the next object? We're ready.
Great job, everyone. Now that you're primed and you've been up out of your chair, the second item we're searching for is something homemade. Can you grab something homemade?
Oh, I love that.
If it's homemade and orange, you're already winning. What do we have? What do we see?
People are thinking harder about this one. I like it. Like, what have I made recently?
If you're on YouTube and playing along, put it in the chat. Oh, these are beautiful. Homemade mask, some embroidery work. Amazing.
I love this.
Hand-painted tile, a kitten pillow sham, perhaps. Whoa, they're getting bigger and bigger. The people with heavier items are coming on screen.
More of an endeavor. Oh, a piñata from the field trip. Those piñatas were amazing. I'm impressed. It is kicking around. I love it.
They're beautiful.
Full disclosure, I got overexcited. I didn't start the timer. So we're going to say that's 30 seconds. And we're going to go for our next item because I'm seeing most people are back. This is the final item. We want you to grab your favorite pillow. Favorite pillow, 30 seconds. I actually started it this time. Off you go. Kyle, is that a dog bed? Did you just hold up a dog bed? Ooh, I like these designs. Okay, 15 seconds. Grab that pillow. I've got mine here, made by a friend of mine.
There's a hand-shaped pillow from Mark. That's cool.
Nice. Okay, and we're done. Awesome. So these are great. And you might start to be thinking to yourself, Kyle and Christina, why do we have all these objects around us? What are we doing? Okay, are you ready for the ultimate theme tieback? We're here on the theme of stress. Together, we self-described as being orange, mostly orange, which is kind of stressed. And we've shared some key coping mechanisms. But we thought it would be fun to release some stress before we got into the talk today. So we want you to take that pillow that you found, and we're going to hold it up to our face, and we're going to scream into it as loud as we can on the count of 3. And we're just going to release some of that tension and stress. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Scream. Kyle's still screaming.
I had a long one. Sorry. I don't know about you, but I feel better already. Thanks so much, Christina. And thanks to all of you for participating. I hope you didn't worry any of your neighbors. Now that we've broken the ice, I think it's time to get to know one another a little better. We're going to go into our Creative Mornings New York coffee line. Just like at our in-person events, you'd have a small moment of serendipitous chance to meet new people. When you check in, when you sit beside someone, and of course, standing in line for coffee. We're going to go into 1-minute breakout rooms where we want you to connect with a couple of other humans that you're here with today and tell them about what is helping you de-stress during these times. And tell them what's bringing you joy. This is rapid fire, so make sure everyone has a chance to share. And there is no pressure. Mine is long walks with my dog Ginger. She's not pleased that I just screamed into her dog bed. We're looking for small but impactful wins here.
We're putting you into breakout rooms now. If you are unable to unmute or share at this time, simply leave your room and come on back to the main session. But it's only going to take a couple minutes. Okay, Alexa, take us away.
Rooms should be opening.
Off they go.
I think they're working. We're doing good.
And if you're on YouTube, we want to know what's helping you de-stress during these times. So our eyes are on the chat. Please go ahead and share.
Also, anyone who remained in Zoom, if you want to share what you're doing to de-stress these days, you're welcome to hop into the chat as well. We'd love to hear from you. Kyle, I love that you shared the dog walks. Mine is that I'm making my own iced coffee and drinking it in fancy glasses in the afternoon.
Nice.
Just a little delight to look forward to. Jen has been gardening, dance parties between clients, baking. So good. I love the dance parties.
And YouTube viewers, go ahead and share your de-stressing tactics in the chat. Jessica's watering her tomato plants every morning. That's a great ritual.
Annie is redecorating her apartment. It's a big undertaking, but I feel you.
Paul, hi Paul. Paul's riding his bike. Bronner's walking their dogs in the park and doing meditation.
Shira says she's baking, which is very on brand for Shira.
And Andrea on YouTube's walking by the water at dawn. I can picture that so clearly in my head.
Sounds magical. Spencer's reading. Julie's gardening and stretching. Emerlyn jazz and cooking. I feel that.
And our friends are now going to be returning.
Welcome, welcome.
Sarah on YouTube, I see you're baking. That's great. Make sure you check out Shira's next field trip.
Rin is painting, a great one. We're gonna give folks a couple minutes to come on in. They're gonna trickle back. Amazing. Welcome back, everyone. We hope you had a great time sharing and maybe meeting some new friends.
Thanks so much for sharing and participating, everyone. Now that you've had a chance to meet a couple of your fellow community members, we want to take a moment to introduce you to 3 more who are here today to share something important with you for 30 seconds. This is one of my favorite Creative Mornings New York traditions. Each month, we invite a handful of community members to take the stage, and they can pitch a room full of wonderful Creative Morning people like you anything they want. If they're looking for work, if they have a passion project, if their company is hiring, if they want to go on a date. This month, we asked the community to apply in advance of our event. To apply to pitch next month, you can find the application in the follow-up email you're going to receive later today. So welcome to this month's 3 30-second pitchers. We're starting with Esmeret Berhe-Lumex from Community Fridges. Esmeret, take it away.
Yes, hi, thank you, Cal. Healthy food is a right and not a privilege. Good morning, everyone. My name is Esmeret, and today is not about me. Today is going to be about us and our communities. Community fridges are being organized in response to the increased food insecurity and health disparities and food waste across our country and globally. These fridges provide free food to anyone in need and anytime. You can take what you need and leave what you can. This is not a charity. This is mutual aid. More than 30 million families across the country are not able to feed themselves and their families. Poor diet is one of the leading causes of death in the US, while about 30% of the country's food supply is being wasted each year. Everyone is being affected. At the fridges in Brooklyn this week, I met a couple in their 60s that had a catering firm together and due to the pandemic lost their only source of income. I met a single mom with a 7-year-old son that's struggling to afford fresh fruit and vegetables to combat obesity. How can you help? Anyone can get involved, and there's many ways of supporting. Set up a community fridge in your neighborhood, volunteer time at an existing fridge in in your community, become a partner. We need partnerships. Donate food, money, help spread the word. Thank you so much.
Esmeret, thank you so much. That was amazing. And so much, well done. Now we have Monica Eunice from Sing for Hope. Monica, welcome. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Monica Eunice, and I'm the co-founder of Sing for Hope. If you're looking for an unforgettable gift that supports artists while the world's stages are dark, we have your answer. Sing for Hope Grams are live singing telegrams delivered to your phone or Zoom by Broadway and opera's brightest stars. They're great for birthdays, anniversaries, team meetings, really for any time you need a musical pick-me-up. Artists include fabulous Catherine Allison, who you're about to hear, and stars from Hamilton, Lion King, Carnegie Hall, and more. Right now, 95% of theaters are dark for the foreseeable future. Sing for Hope Grams bring employment to artists and inspiration to you. Thank you so much.
Monica, thank you. And lastly, I'd like to welcome Alexandra Bellenswick from Hum Hum. Alexandra, take it away.
Hi, everyone. On this month's theme of stress, dating can be one of those things that feels very stressful for many of us. So I'm Alexandra Ballensweig, and I founded Hum Hum, a platform for face-to-face conscious connection and dating. We facilitate conscious dating experiences in a virtual speed dating format, weaving in mindfulness prompts and movement to connect us to our bodies and our experience with the intention of learning about ourselves and being present as we meet new people. The focus is on practicing connection as opposed to on the outcome of the match. So this Sunday evening, we're hosting a dating experience for people based in New York, and you can get more information about that on the chat, as well as how to join our community. So we hope to see you there.
Thank you so much, Alexandra, Monica, and Esmeret, for sharing these important projects. You can find details about all 3 in the chat on Zoom and in the chat on YouTube. And for those of you watching, you can find those follow-up details also in that important email that'll arrive in your inbox later today with an important survey. So thank you. Thanks so much. And now another tradition. At every month's Creative Mornings New York, we're honored to welcome a local musician or performer to take the stage.
Today, we're excited to have Catherine Allison join us as our virtual musician. Catherine is a Broadway performer, content creator, and recording artist. Her long-awaited debut solo album, Something Real, was released in February 2019. Since March 12th, she's been working with Sing for Hope, Broadway Mixers, and Community League of the Heights, as well as performing in virtual concerts and plays supporting nonprofits around the country. please join us in giving a warm Creative Mornings welcome to Catherine Allison.
Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing well this morning and experiencing a stress-free experience. I am so happy to be here. Sing for Hope brings creative arts to schools, hospitals, and public spaces so everyone can experience the healing power of the arts. You know those Sing for Hope pianos that are placed around the city during the summertime? That's us. And now we're doing Sing for Hope grams, as Monica so lovely said earlier. For me, delivering virtual Sing for Hope grams over the last couple of months has been such a joy and honor. To see our recipients' faces light up when they hear their favorite songs or know that their gift is coming from someone they love dearly but haven't seen in a while because of isolation. It pushes the narrative that music is healing and that it's a bridge that can bring us all together, no matter where we are. So I have a selection by Mary J. Blige for you this morning, so I hope that you enjoy. We are lovers through and through and through. We've made it through the storm. I really want you to realize, I really want to put you on. I've been searching for someone to satisfy my every need. Won't you be my inspiration? Be the real love that I need, real love. I'm searching for real love. Someone to set my heart free, real love. I'm searching for a real love. When I met you, I just knew that you would take my heart and run, until you told me how you felt for me. You said I'm not the one. So I slowly came to see all of the things that you were made of. And now my hopes and dreams and inspirations lead me to want some real love. I'm searching for real love. Someone to set my heart free, real love. I'm searching for a real love. I got to have real love. Love so true. Oh, baby, I thought your love was true. I thought you were the answers to the questions in my mind. But it seems that I was strong. If I stay strong, maybe I'll find my real love. So I'll try my best and pray to God she'll send me someone real to caress me and to guide me towards a love my heart can feel. Now I know I can't be faithful, I can't be your all in all. I'll give you good loving through the summertime, into spring and fall. Real love, I'm searching for real love. Someone to set my heart free, real love. I'm searching for a real love. Hey, feel free to snap along. You see, I'm searching for a real love and I don't know where to go. Been around the world and high and low and still never know what it feels to find a real love, 'cause it seems you're not around. Gotta end it in this way because it seems they can't be found. I'm searching for real love. Someone to set my heart free, real love. I'm searching for a real love. Oh. Thank you so much.
Wow, Catherine, thank you. If you'd like to fill Catherine's tip jar with your appreciation, her Venmo info is being posted in the chat. You might have to scroll up to see it because of all the words of appreciation. Catherine, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Oh, wow. And that's it for Christina and I this morning. Thank you so much for participating and playing along with us. We're going to pass things back to Tina. Tina, take it away.
Thank you, Christina and Kyle. I love your community engagement part. That pillow thing was funny. And Catherine, oh my God, how incredible are you? Oh, it's like this guy went into my heart, man. Thank you so much, Catherine. I'm all teary-eyed. And also, Catherine, you should know that this week I got a really adorable text from our Creative Mornings choir lead, Alex Canovas.
Oh.
I don't know if you know, but we actually have a choir, and he had a lot of exclamation points in it. And in his words, he said that you went to school together and had the same voice.
We did.
Teacher. And he's actually here today. And his words, I quote, "Catherine is truly unbelievable." Hey, there he is.
Oh my God.
I miss our choir, Alex. Anyway, his words, Catherine, were, "Catherine is truly unbelievable as an artist and a person. I'm so excited." So I can see why. So thank you again, Catherine.
Thank you so much for having me. That was such a lovely surprise, and Alex is amazing. So thank you so much for having me, everyone, and for the beautiful comments. I really appreciate it.
When the choir is back, maybe we can have you as a solo in there one day.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, hello again. In case you came on a little later, this is Creative Mornings New York. I'm Tina Roth-Eisenberg. I'm the founder of Creative Mornings and the host of the New York City chapter, and I'm really happy you're here. I don't know about you, it's been a tough 6 months. 6 months of dealing with a global pandemic, a lockdown, 180,000 lives lost to COVID, ongoing police brutality, Black Lives Matter protests, a racist president running for re-election, the fires in California, a hurricane currently making landfall. It is a lot, and I'm not even listing everything. And I don't know about you, but I personally have been feeling like I've been holding my breath since March. And I realized that the only thing that keeps me going is community. Be it my neighborhood stoop community, which I love so much, my close circle of friends, my team, my family, and they're all different types of communities. And then of course, this one, Creative Mornings. I must say our events, our field trips, they give me hope. There is love and kindness and generosity in the air that is unmatched. And Creative Mornings events always restore my faith in humanity, makes me believe that there's goodness in the world. So thank you all for showing up, contributing and not giving up, and for being a light and not closing your hearts. And you know who's also showing up in our support? Our partners. Without them, without their financial support, this global engine of generosity would simply not exist. Without their support, we couldn't run and maintain the website, share the talks, grow and support the global volunteer community, share inspiring content, host hundreds of free online workshops, aka field trips, the list goes on. Our partners are fueling it all. Because of them, this is all free. So please allow me to thank and appreciate them for their generous support. I want to thank MailChimp for being our official partner for marketing. And Sean, I see you somewhere there. I saw you before. I'm so happy you're here and joining in. Thank you for making online marketing and especially newsletters delightful. And fun fact, MailChimp has been supporting us for 11 and a half years straight. That must be some sponsorship record, by the way. They recently launched a virtual book festival on their platform, MailChimp Presents. And I'm personally very excited about it. We all know a book can reshape our perspective. It gives us a different lens through which to see the world through, something new to stand up for. And MailChimp's virtual book festival, called Buy the Books, features a collection of emerging voices. It's a call to stand by new ideas, to be inspired by fresh viewpoints, to shape our future by championing progressive thinkers, and to stand by the books. You can find it on MailChimp, MailChimp.com/presents. So love this initiative. Then thank you WordPress.com for making it so easy for everyone to have a website and for being our official global partner for web publishing. Since 2018, Creative Mornings and WordPress.com have joined forces to bring you Own Your Content and a series of interviews, toolkits, and field trips that explore what it means to create, share, and own the work we put into the world. And as part of this exploration, Creative Mornings shares insights from creators like Grace Bonney, Jen Hewitt, Khoi Vinh, and Paul Jarvis about everything from how to get past creative blocks in order to actually create content, to how we can retain ownership and control of our work in an increasingly complicated digital landscape. Check out some of the interviews and toolkits at ownyourcontent.wordpress.com. I'm super proud of that campaign. All right, and then thank you, Basecamp, for keeping us organized with your software and for being Creative Mornings' official global partner for project management. And huge congrats to Team Basecamp for their successful launch of their new email management tool, Hey. It's designed around the belief that your inbox can be delightful and is a completely new way of approaching email. Try it, it really is. Take it for a spin with a 14-day free trial. I have, and now I'm hooked. You can email me when you do, tina@hey.com after you sign up. And last but not least, I want to thank Harvest for supporting our New York City chapter on a local level and for making time tracking a breeze. When I was in my last job, before starting my own company in 2005, we used a hand-coded time tracking backend that my boss made. I dreaded using it. I hope my boss is never hearing this, my former boss. If only Harvest would have been around then. Also, Harvest recently refreshed its customer story series, which is really delightful. They're beautifully written sneak peeks into the businesses that use their time tracking tools. And through these case studies, you can learn how other companies track time. Details are in the chat. All right, are you still with me? Give me some jazz hands if you are. Thank you. And now, to our main attraction, and I have to, because I really don't like using slides in Zoom. My team, I think, always makes fun of me. I'm gonna go analog, and I'm gonna show you this month's illustration. I hope you can see it. August theme is stress. So every month we have a global theme that we pick our speakers to. So this month's theme is stress. It was picked by our Warsaw chapter, and Shani Benjamin illustrated the theme. And now I am so honored and excited to introduce today's guest, Yocasta Lachapelle. She is the Director of Talent at Collins, an independent strategy brand experience design firm located both here in New York and San Francisco. At Collins, Yocasta is responsible for talent recruitment, development, and retention. And in preparations for today's event, while getting to know Yocasta a little better, it was quite apparent that she has a passion for finding and nurturing creative people. Together with Brian Collins, she builds their creative team in both locations and also leads several diversity initiatives, which will be the focus of our conversation today. And I'm so excited. Welcome, Yocasta. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you for having me, Tina.
There you are. We made it. We made it. All right. So, Yocasta, you're the Director of Talent at Collins, an incredibly successful and prestigious firm. So for those of you that are not familiar with Collins, I'm pretty certain you have been interacting or exposed to some of their work. They're talented people. They're the talented people behind rebrands and campaigns for Robinhood, Spotify, Twitch, MailChimp, Dropbox, just to name a few. Collins is pretty much the hottest shop in town. All the cool kids want to work there, Yocasta. So how did you end up at Collins?
Oh my God, thank you for all your kind words about us and our work. How did I end up at Collins? I met Brian 20 years ago at Ogilvy. At the time, I was leading production on the new business development team and worked closely with Brian on a lot of new business pitches. I was at Ogilvy for almost 9 years. I left Ogilvy to take a mommy break for a few years. Freelance for a while. I was interested in experiencing different work environments outside of big agencies, and reconnected with Brian five and a half years ago, yeah. As he was starting to build out the team. And for me, Collins was just the best of the best of both places, the best world of the best talent, and just a work environment where there was lots of potential for growth. At big agencies, you could get a little bit siloed at times. But yeah, that's how I connected with Colin.
How long was Colin already Colin's in existence when you joined?
Yes, we're in year 12, so we were year 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm endlessly impressed with the beautiful and thoughtful work that Collins puts out. But I'm honestly even more impressed by the commitment of Brian and the team to making a difference. I personally believe that companies can be a huge change agent for good. And when your boss, Brian, founder of Collins, told me about your high school internship program, I literally gasped. It's a high school internship program aimed at students of color. And then he started telling me about you and how you led this program, and you have been nurturing it for 5 years. So tell me about this internship program, because I really want the world to know about this, and because I feel like you're making a real difference. So how did it come about?
Yeah, it came out of a conversation our former president, Amber Gald, and I had when I first came on board. We were sharing our paths into the industry, how we just stumbled upon the industry, and for me, it was a childhood friend who was a receptionist at a production company who called me up one day and said, "You're artsy fartsy, come in for an interview." And Amber had a similar story. I think receptionists were the connectors for people of color at the time.
So basically, you're saying you didn't have anyone in your world that would have actually made you think about a career in the creative industry, right?
No. I had very little access or even awareness about the industry, which is what happens for a lot of folks of color. With the lack of representation comes a lack of having people in your community, to be able to mentor you, and see what that, different career options in creative industries look like.
So then as a recruiter, and you realize that other, your colleagues who are also of color, you realize this is like pure coincidence that you're all stumbling into this. Basically, it was just sheer fate.
Yes.
So, but how did you make then the connection to, like, we need to change that and we need to actually create a pipeline and open up that opportunity?
Because I'd just connected with so many, people of color in the industry over the years. And, there was a pattern of similar patterns of not having a very straightforward path. The stories were more along the line, similar to mine, or that they discovered, design or the industry in, their senior year of college. But in comparison to, a lot, our peers that we were working with, a lot of their stories were my best friend's dad was a creative lead at an agency. I was exposed early. I knew what I wanted to study at school. And I just wanted, I want that, replicate that model. For how do you replicate that model for people who don't have, who aren't represented in the industry, where you learn about it early, you're mentored through college, and then mentored, help place you into the industry.
Yeah. So tell me about your program. So you've been running a internship mentorship program since 5 years, aiming at students of color, and you start at the high school level. So how many kids have gone through the program? How many do you have per year? Break it down for me.
Yes. We've mentored 8 students so far. We bring on board 2 per year. We have 100% enrollment into college. They're enrolled in school, a wide range of schools, from RISD to University of Michigan, Cooper Union, Fashion Institute of Technology, John Jay. And yeah.
And why do you start at high school? I mean, and I mean, I'm thinking how, like, I'm just so curious as someone who, you know, thinks instantly very practical, like, how do you find the high school students? How are they going to be helpful within this, you know, the company? Like, are they already talent? Like, do they bring a certain talent already? Because high school seems pretty early. I think it's awesome, but I could see a lot of people go like, why do you start in high school?
Yeah.
But that's the whole point.
Yes. Because high school students need to know these careers exist before they're choosing a college or a major,
Yeah.
right?
Rather than tell me about them
later on.
Tell me about your students and how they're contributing to Collins.
They are extremely talented. I actually have a few slides of some of their work to share.
So this is them already working with you or before?
No. I want to note that this is work that they use to apply to the program. So they're already at this level before they join. And I don't think anyone really realizes how brilliantly talented high school students
Wow,
are.
that's impressive. So we're talking 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds?
Juniors and seniors.
This is high school level before they even?
High school level.
Thank you, Internet. I didn't have that. That's amazing. That's so cool. So why is it so important? Why is it important to start a program aimed at high school level? Like I'm obviously you. Well, I guess you answered that just now because you think it needs to start earlier, right?
I think yes, and just that give them finding or discovering design later on sometimes leads to needing to extend your time at college because you don't have enough credits to graduate with a degree in design. Some of my mentees have had to gone to grad school and to get an MFA in design because they didn't get their undergrad in design. I think also design skills. It takes time to hone your craft. And so if you're interested in it, the earlier you're at it, working at it, the better.
So, and you recruit from art high schools that are focused on design already in New York City right now, right?
We work with a range. It doesn't necessarily have to be the specialized high school.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised, even in the non-specialized public school, there's still a lot of great talent. Mm-hmm. But there is a lot of, there are some great specialized art schools around the city.
My daughter is starting at one of them in September, actually in a few weeks. Yeah. So break it down for us. I want to get real practical here. So if people are here from studios, agencies, like how much time do you spend with a student? How much do you pay them? Who in your team gets involved? Who's the point of contact? Give me the nitty-gritty of how that actually works.
Well, maybe I should I'll outline a little bit more about the program and what we do. Mm-hmm. So we it's part mentorship and part industry knowledge. And we teach them the tools of the trade. They get client experience, workshops, and we also work on portfolio development, college internships, and career development. And we continue to mentor them through college and onto hopefully soon placing them into the industry, if not hiring them ourselves. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. But
break that down for us. Like you haven't come, when you say a lot of time, that scares people away. Let's not say that. It's like my goal is that people will do this, Yocasta. So you take them for a summer, right? That's how it starts out, right?
Yes, 8 weeks.
8 weeks. And they go through the different departments and they kind of get a sense, oh my God, my head is exploding. I would have loved this so much. I would have actually known what I'm getting myself into. And then they go back to school. And then yes,
I'm sorry. I thought you meant like how many hours a week. We spend, I mean, it's a team effort, but yes, it's 8 weeks over the summer. It starts as soon as a week after, or the week of after the Labor Day holiday, and right before school starts again.
Yeah. And then you said like one of your students is about to graduate right now from college, from RISD or which one?
From John Jay.
John Jay. And you're sort of basically still mentoring them, sort of whatever they need help with, like you're sort of a point of contact that just like you're here to support them in this journey. Is that how you look at it?
Yes. And actually, and she found, she's majoring in public policy. She found her way into public policy through like a passion that she had for strategy.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. It must be such a rewarding program to run. I mean, you were joking at the beginning when we just came on before we let everyone in that you feel like a mama to all of them, right?
I wanted to show their work because I feel like a proud mama.
Yeah, I totally get it. I want to make sure we're going to get into Q&A quickly. But let me just wrap up our conversation with what are you currently working on with the internship program? Where do you want to take it? What do you hope it can become?
Yeah, we fast-tracked the launch of an online typography class, just to make sure that we could continue to progress, or our mentees could continue to progress even during a pandemic. Mm-hmm. It's been an amazing class.
And that's just for them?
It was seven of our interns joined. The one who's studying or graduating from public policy didn't join the typography class. And then we invited 3 mentees that we've also have been mentoring on the side who didn't come necessarily through our program. In our class, we've been cross-sharing references outside the mainstream of the Eurocentric canon of design. Mm-hmm. We've been working on developing their formal typography skills and a stronger understanding of their voice. Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, I grew up in Switzerland, and in Switzerland, we have basically 2 tracks. You can either go the university route, or you can go the apprenticeship route where it's half school, half apprenticeship. And I grew up with a mom running a store where she had apprentices. They were these young women. They were like 17, started at 16, I think, or even younger. And it just really reminds me of like, I am someone who really learns by doing and seeing. So, I mean, I would have loved something like this. So I'm just endlessly impressed that you guys are doing this. And I really hope that there's other companies that are going to step up and say, and just sort of see the impact that this can have on our industry and bring more people of color up into the creative industry. So I really hope that also companies will reach out to you and actually say they want to partner up with you. You were sort of saying that you'd be willing to share the blueprint of this and possibly even doing a field trip for people that are interested. And
absolutely. We also just became core members of New York City's Department of Education, Media and Technology and Design Commission. And we're supporting that commission by, connecting schools to more student internships and externship for teachers, expanding also the membership by inviting colleagues in our network to participate. So I'm happy to introduce anyone into, to the commission who's interested in running a program like this. Looking ahead, exploring, ways to continue to scale these initiatives with other partners.
I really want to congratulate you and your team on this. I really feel like this is you're investing time, money, and this is like the way we can make change. So I want to move into the Q&A portion because I know people have questions. So I want the community to be part of this conversation, and we're excited to hear from you. If you have a question, please indicate that by raising your digital blue hand. Click on participants and then click raise hand button. Alexa will announce if she'll spotlight you. And you can ask your question directly to Yocasta, and don't be shy. If you don't feel comfortable being spotlighted, you can also just put your question in the chat, and my team will feed it to me. And for those of you raising your hand, I will kindly ask you to be very succinct with your question. All right, so let's see. Alexa, do we have any questions already?
We actually have a lot of questions right now. So first I'm going to call on Christina. I will ask you to unmute.
Oh, am I there?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Thank you for sharing. My question was, what does the future of design education look like to you? And if you had a magic wand, how would you design this future?
That's a good question.
I think the future starts with an equitable public education system. I think this, even in some of the most progressive cities, there's a huge disparity between, it's like another chapter of A Tale of Two Cities, and it shows in ways, for students of color, mostly in lower income neighborhoods, and how their career tracked. You just have to show up for career day, and as you sign in, you're surrounded by men in uniform and police, police department and military, and those are the careers that are presented as options. And I think there was a tattoo artist as well. And so for me, it starts with an equitable, public education system that's where the arts are funded across all of the schools.
Great. Alexa, do you have another question that we can line up?
Yeah, I'm going to grab Andrea. I will ask you to unmute.
All right. Hey, Yocasta, this is so inspiring. Assuming I can't go back in time and intern at Collins as a high school student, how could I pitch this to my organization?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. We didn't pitch this to our founders, Brian Collins and Leland Mashmeyer. They were on board immediately, I asked Brian recently what he thought was the barrier to adopting a program like this. He said, people overestimate short-term decisions and undervalue long-term decisions. I think that's really what it is. It's the barrier is the long-term commitment. There's a fear of committing to a long-term program and getting it wrong, is what I think. But to that, I would argue, that we started just as a summer high school internship, just to expose students to career. And the only reason the program is as comprehensive as it is now, it's really the outcome of applied learnings year over year. I can point out, what we learned every year and how it changed the program. First year we exposed them to careers. One of our students had found a passion for strategy. The other found a passion for design. How do we help them, get a short list of schools that might be right for them, and help them through the process? So that became part of the program. The second year, the two high school interns that had already been accepted to school, but needed to figure out their financial aid process. Okay, had needed to secure a ton of funding. So then that, we have to work with them through the financial aid process. Third year, there was, some students concerned that their parents didn't understand their career options or what this industry was about. We had family dinner. Let's invite their parents, to the office, so they can see the space and meet with us, and we can talk to them about the industry, and be transparent of what salaries in the industry are, and have their children present the work that they had, produced throughout the summer and their process. And that is one of my favorite, actually, parts of this program. And the list goes on year after year. You just keep learning and applying. Now we're trying to secure college internships for some of our mentees at other work environments, so they get experience from a diverse set of places, not just at Collins. And ultimately, we're going to hire them, or we're going to make sure they get placed into the industry. But again, that was just like over time, and it's been successful. They're all still in school. They're graduating, this year. Next year, there's two more graduating. Graduating every year.
Yocasta, it's also inspiring. So taking Andrea's question, like, did you say you're working on a deck that would help someone pitch this to their bosses?
I'm going to work on a deck to help pitch this, but I also wanted to say that, we've been talking about, diversity for over 30 years, and the needle hasn't moved much, specifically for Black and Latinx communities. And, it's just 30 years of talking. And that's why just start, approach it like a product design problem. You just need the intention and the commitment. I don't think we're not getting to 3%, from 3% to 13%, or actually have the, actual representation of the world we live in. I think we have to parallel program this, have a program for college interns, and, start as well with high school internships in order to even get close.
So everyone who's attending and
I can continue to, there's a whole laundry list, there's a whole bunch of points I can make for the business case. We've already talked about, the creative case for the business, but I'm happy to, put a pitch deck together.
For those of you who want to pitch this to your bosses, I think if there's enough people interested, like in the follow-up email that's going to go out, we always have a survey after the events. There's going to be a question if you're interested in learning more, because Yocasta said she's willing to share her blueprint, to help on a deck, to pitch this to your organization. Like, so really raise your hand in the follow-up email that goes out with the survey. Yocasta, I have a question here from Ignacio. He says, how can I apply to the program?
You can apply_New York, and in the subject, put Collins High School Internship Program.
Okay. Tina F on YouTube is asking, what gets you excited about what you do?
What gets me excited? I love, just watching the growth of our team, and just watching them, how everyone is growing. The interns as well. That I was showing that work earlier, and I just saw they just shared some zines that they were working on outside of at our typography class, and the work is just that's what's most gratifying, just to see how much our talent develops and grows in short period of time.
Amazing. Alexa, do we have questions in Zoom still? Otherwise, I have some more of people that put them in the chat.
We do. I'm going to call on Sandeep. You are on.
All right. Hi, Yocasta. First of all, amazing session. Just one thing, the more I talk about Brian, the more I talk to Brian on LinkedIn, the more inspired I get. So love from India, first of all. And my question to you is, would a similar kind of program be open to internationals? Because again, I love the work that Collins does. I've been following it for a long time. And I need to have a program in my country where I can sit online and learn the stuff that you guys do there.
Yes. Are you in high school?
I'm currently a freshman in my college right now, but I consider myself to be a high school student. It's not a big deal that much, honestly.
Well, apply to Collins, and we'll see, and we'll find something. We'll figure something out. Or
all right, I'm sending the mail right away.
That's so great. Alexa, do you want to take another one from Zoom?
Yeah, I am going to unmute Irving in Philly. Hey.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi.
Here in Philadelphia, I had the privilege of working with high school students through a charter school. And so working with students has been a huge learning experience about accessibility. And my question is more geared towards that, though I have tons of questions about the program. Yep. I've noticed that a lot of the students that we work with are coming from neighborhoods that are very impoverished and have limited access to even computers. What is Collins doing to provide accessibility to software programming, computer, and just even the space itself in terms of allotment of hours, and how does Collins work with that within the program?
We provide the computer, the software. It's a paid internship. They have an unlimited Metro card and a stipend, a lunch stipend. You have to invest.
Incredible.
Thank you.
I have a question from Jean on Zoom. What does mentorship look like during the internship and afterward? Do you have criteria for the mentors to ensure it's a good relationship?
Yes, I typically assign the mentees. I know both teams the closest. I mean, or all the interns and our team the closest. So yeah, there's.
Is Yocasta frozen?
I think so.
Oh, she's back. Yocasta, are you still there? You
Yeah.
froze for a second.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
that's okay. Let's move on to the next question. Alexa, let's take another raised hand. I see there's still some raised hands there.
Great. I am going to call on Elise. Elise, you should be unmuted.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm involved in an organization here in Brooklyn called Hook Arts Media that is on the same kind of trajectory, which is finding kids who don't graduate from high school or are in transition school and giving them the tools to be able to work in the media industry. We have something called Digital Boot Camp. It's extraordinarily successful for them. They become part of a production team. They all of a sudden, I've watched them in school go from like incredibly bored teenagers to like amazing crew. And our difficulty has been finding the right people to plug them into a pipeline so that they can take these skills of working with professionals and then transition them into actual workplace. And I don't know, maybe it's a conversation offline.
No, you have to start building connections. Are they in, so they're in the regular public school?
They're in what's called transitional high schools, and some of them have actually graduated those schools, but we start with them, you know, they're the kids who couldn't get through high school, so they went to these kind of alternative high schools, and that's where we plugged in because they were really looking for something, and they turned out to be incredibly creative. And
you could let's email and find ways to connect them to production companies in the industry.
Because they've made public service announcements. They're really talented and know what they're doing, and it's really about plugging them in. So I'd appreciate your help on that.
Yeah, and I think another point about why it's important to expose them early to these types of opportunities. It promotes kind of the engagement in at school, right? There's a focus. Right.
It changed. It's very life changing.
Yeah,
it really
dropping out, right? Because now there's a goal. There's something,
and they have a team.
Yeah,
it's huge. So thank you for what you're doing, and I appreciate being able to learn from what you're doing.
Yocasta, are you okay if I privately DM Elise your email?
Yes, I'm just gonna.
All right, I just sent it to her. Elise, if you look in your chat right now, you have Yocasta's email. All right, so let's do one more question in Zoom, and then we probably have to close this off.
I'm gonna call on Spencer. Spencer, you are on.
Gosh, I didn't think it was gonna be me. Hi, Yocasta. I'm a huge Collins fan. And my question, I currently go to the Creative Circus in Atlanta. And Jordan's in my class.
Yes, he's
amazing. I love your mentor program. I totally do not want to encroach, but I am incredibly envious. My question is, as a person that's coming into the industry, I don't want to be silent about things that I see in welcoming and diversity, but I also don't have a position of power right now or like any leeway. So I'm wondering early on how I can be an ally and support people of color, because I think that role is incredibly important. And like I said, I don't want to wait until I'm, up on some pedestal and it's already too late.
I think you should feel free to be an ally, If it's not an environment that's supportive of you being an ally, it's probably not a place you want to work.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna have one more question that I have myself that I wasn't able to ask earlier because I wanted to make sure we're gonna be tracked good on time. But I'm just personally curious, what has surprised you the most in this journey? I mean, this is 5 years of, you know.
What's surprised me the most is the number of kids who've actually chosen to pursue a career in design. Out of the majority didn't know what they were or weren't sure about design. Some wanted to study fine arts, some illustration. But yeah, the majority are tracking towards a career in design. And so that surprised me. I guess that is the goal of the program in some ways, but it's always the key word is consider careers within design. And I'm just glad that we've presented that opportunity and that they found this connection and went to school, really feeling they had picked a meaningful major,
And what is your dream? Like, you just started talking about this. I know that you haven't really been very public about this, what you're doing. And like, what's your dream? Is your dream to have other agencies come to you and say, like, let's team up, let's create a network? Is it like what's your, if you had a magic wand, what would happen?
Well, for me, we're a team of 50, so there's only so much diversity or so much impact we could have on as an industry. My dream would be to, that this would be a program that others could adopt, and that we could, through this program, help contribute like a bigger impact as far as diversity in the industry. Like, I want my industry to have representation.
Yeah. And as you said, you'd be willing to sort of share your blueprint.
Yeah.
You said you would also share like sort of what it costs you, the time involved. Because I think a lot of these hurdles, once you see them on paper, they're easier to grasp by somebody who's been doing this. So I want to just say again, if you feel like you want to pitch this to your bosses, if you are someone who has the power to make sure to respond to the survey in the follow-up email. And there will be a question about raise your hand if you're interested, because Yocasta said she would generously do a field trip and just really go into details and explain how she's doing it. And I mean, my dream is, Yocasta, that one day you email me and you tell me, hey, there's all these people who are started this program now. Like, it's just so tremendously inspiring. Like, it really is. So thank you for pouring your heart into it, and just for the thoughtfulness and for making this a priority, and for Collins to invest into this. I mean, I was impressed already with Collins, but now this is taking it to the next level. So thank you so much, Yocasta.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And all right, so
questions.
All right, so let's get a pulse check with the chat emotion waterfall. This works both on Zoom and YouTube Live. Think of a word or a short sentence that describes how you feel right now in this moment, and then put it in and hit send. Inspired, hopeful, happy. I feel jealous of high schoolers. Me too. Grateful, passionate, blessed. Heart is full. Me too. Hopeful. Hopeful is what we need right now. Hopeful, inspired. Oh, this is great. Thank you so much for sharing, everybody. So this was our 5th Digital Creative Mornings, New York. I want to thank my team, Kyle, Christina, Julie, Lisa, Alexa, Emmeline, Catherine, and Monica for all their hard work. You might think putting on a digital event is really, really easy. We actually think it's almost more work, and it's harder than putting on digital than IRL. I also want to give a shout out to our volunteers that usually help us pour coffee and set up breakfast. We just miss them so much. So in case any of our volunteers are on today, we miss you. And I want to thank our guests, Shira, Catherine, Esmeralda, Monica, Alexandra, and thank you again, Yocasta, for making time for this. And if today's event has made you feel less alone and has lifted your spirits, if today was good for your soul and you want to tap into this community more, I suggest you check out our virtual field trips on upcoming events on our website, creativemornings.com. And I want to thank our partners again who make this happen. Thank you, MailChimp. Thank you, WordPress.com, Basecamp, and Harvest. And as always, I want to end with a quote. And today's is by Albert Einstein. Although I'm typically alone or in daily life, my consciousness of belonging to the invisible community of those who strive for truth, beauty, and justice has preserved me from feeling isolated. My team and I are grateful you're part of this creative community. And thank you for making time. Thank you for showing up. We see you, we appreciate you. Let's give one more time jazz hands for Yocasta, everybody. This is great. And now, as we get ready to say goodbye, all right, thanks everybody for joining. See you next month. Thank you so much. And thank you, Yocasta.